Just like the summer, a riveting novel, or a great vacation, all good things must come to an end, wrote the father of English literature, Geoffrey Chaucer, in one of his poems way back in the 1380s. But does this apply to games? People often use a term, dead game, even if there are tens of thousands of daily users. That's the case with many popular games. A few examples like Fortnite, Clash of Clans and Clash Royale. For a game like Critical Ops to be considered dead, you have to compare it to some examples, like Call of Duty Ghost, where if you log on and want to play a game, the chances of finding a game are incredibly slim. That's really not the case with Critical Ops. You could find a match in all game modes quite fast if you're on a popular server, at any time of the day, no matter what time zone you're in. So we have determined that COps isn't dead. And that's not an opinion, it's a fact. But COps certainly isn't what it was 5 years ago. Could have it just been the hype that inevitably died off? Or was it something else that made it so hard for the game to grow?
The title is not clickbait. I am officially quitting Critical Ops permanently.
Man, Twist was like our last hope for this game, to be honest.
COps sucks, and the reason for why people
When it comes to playing Critical Ops, I have fun, but it's only temporarily.
As we know, Critical Ops was a huge success when it came out. The game grew extremely fast, as we can see on this graph. This graph is broken down into a 100-point scale, 100 being the highest, and 0 meaning lowest popularity. The info is from Google itself, and shows interest on the game 2015 onwards, when the game released for beta. When the game came out, it was completely different to how it is now. But I'm not here to go through all the differences. I'm here to show the critical points in the game's history that leads it to how it is now. 2015 Critical Ops was something else. There was no doubt about that. There was lots to do and explore. Everything felt new. And the updates came frequently. It felt like every few months there was a huge update that everyone loved. New guns, maps, and features, which at the time was cool. I tried to find negative reviews in 2015, but there was no results. Critical Force only kept going uphill. The game hit 1 million downloads on Android on January 2016. Tons of Critical Ops influencers started flooding the scene, such as Coolmark, Twist, and Royal Skyline. Critical Ops continued to grow rapidly in 2017. But it took a dip in the middle of the year. I did some research to find out why. And it was because Critical Ops was removed from PC May 2017. Critical Ops then hit its peak on September 2017. Critical Ops then took a dip. Remembering that the graph shows the number of searches. This means that it had 25% less searches, which wasn't too crazy. My theory is that it was just because Winterfest came out, and everyone stopped searching for leaks. It then rose back up halfway to its previous state. But then it dipped all the way down to 50%. This was most likely because around this time, hackers were everywhere, and there was no system to report them, so they thrived. 1.0 came out November 2018, which was a huge update, and the official release of the game, but it only went up a tiny bit, which was a bit strange. At the beginning of 2019, things started to once again decline, with the previous update being 3 months ago. The game was feeling dry. They released a new large update in February. The update looked like it had lots of new features on paper. But again, nothing was different except the new gun, the Vector. There were the features in the update, such as a new knife, but to the average player, they would never get the knife. There was new season pass that came out, but they kinda just seemed copy and paste from every other game at the time, with Critical Force focusing more on skins and knives. There was less updates coming, but Critical Ops realized the mistakes later on in the year, and they started to focus more on the game itself, releasing tons of new maps, such as Port and Park. Even though they released lots of maps, the game still went down in popularity, which was strange. Anyways, the game hit its lowest point ever. You see, one main thing that keeps Critical Ops strong is its competitive scene. Although in the past Critical Ops had many successful esports, around 2019 mobile esports stopped hosting Critical Ops tournaments. This led to many of the competitive players leaving the game, such as Angel and ichase. I don't know much more about mobile esports, so check out Legend Juice's video linked in description. Another major reason for the downfall of Critical Ops in 2019 is the lack of listening to the community on the developer parts to fix or improve the game. This made many Critical Ops players quite frustrated. Another thing is YouTubers leaving. Many have left for various reasons, and when they do, some of their subscribers join them. Also, people were growing up. They didn't have time to play Critical Ops. They were busy with relationships, school or work, which is the main reason for people quitting. The game peaked again around May 2020, which makes sense because 3 updates came out around that time, but the game dipped. And that's where it's been for the past 2 years. But there is hope for Critical Ops. A new generation of Critical Ops influencers are here, such as me, and some old ones might come back. Anyway, if we all work together to do our parts, we can make Critical Ops great again.